Hello friends, myself Dr. V.N. Deshmukh, Associate Professor at Sudhakar Naik Institute of Pharmacy, Pusad. Friends, today we will study industrial production, estimation and utilization of diacetyl. This diacetyl is obtained from the plant Dioscorea. These are the saponin glycosides. So these Dioscorea have a tuber, and from these tubers this diacetyl is extracted out. As you know that glycosides on hydrolysis gives sugar and non-sugar moiety. The sugar moiety is called as glycon and non-sugar moiety it is called as the aglycon. In case of this steroidal saponin glycoside, the aglycon part of the glycoside have a soap-like activity, so they are called as the saponin glycosides, and the basic moiety of the chemical structure is a steroidal one, so it is also called as the steroidal glycoside, or we can call them as an steroidal saponin glycosides. In this picture you can see that the tuber of the Dioscorea, these are the tubers of the Dioscorea. Here you can see the vine of the Dioscorea. It is a creeper one which is on the support, provided support it will grow. So these tubers which are present, from these tubers the diacetyl is obtained. So friends, today we will study the industrial production, estimation and utilization of diacetyl. Diacetyl is a glycon obtained after the hydrolysis of a steroidal saponin glycoside, that is the diacetyl, present in the Dioscorea. So the basic of the isolation of the diacetyl from the Dioscorea, that is, first of all you have to carry out the hydrolysis, and the glycon and aglycon part will separated. The aglycon part which has a therapeutic utility is the diacetyl. It is commercially obtained from the tubers of Dioscorea deltoidea and Dioscorea compositae. It is obtained from the two variety Dioscorea deltoidea and Dioscorea compositae belonging to family Dioscoreaceae. Family is the Dioscoreaceae. It is commonly known as yam, or it is also called as the rheumatism root. As in case of the Ayurveda, it is used for the treatment of rheumatism, so it is commonly known as yam or rheumatism root. The hydrolysis of glycoside result into the formation of non-sugar and sugar moieties. As in case of the definition, we have learned that on the hydrolysis it gives a sugar and non-sugar moiety. The non-sugar moieties have a solubility on non-polar solvents. So these non-polar, the non-sugar moieties which has present in case of this Dioscorea, which has a therapeutic utility, have a solubility in case of the non-polar solvent. The basic of extraction, that is the hydrolysis of tubers with mineral acid. So in this case the hydrolysis is done. So after the hydrolysis the separation of the glycon and aglycon moiety can be done, and later on the extraction of the liberated aglycon moiety, that is the diacetyl, is to be hydrolyzed in the hydrolyzed tubers by the non-polar solvent. So the basic is the extraction of the liberated diacetyl in the hydrolyzed tubers by non-polar solvent, and isolation of the diacetyl which has been separated. So this is the chemical structure of the diacetyl. As we have discussed earlier, the basic moiety, it is a steroidal one. The basic moiety the basic moiety of the diasgenin, it is a steroidal one, so it is also called as the steroidal saponin glycoside. Industrial production is done by three different methods. One is the acid hydrolysis, that is directly the acid hydrolysis is done. Next method, that is the fermentation come acid hydrolysis, and third one, extraction come acid hydrolysis. So the industrial production, it is done by three methods. First one, that is the acid hydrolysis, next one fermentation come acid hydrolysis, and third one, that is extraction come acid hydrolysis. So first of all, we will see about the acid hydrolysis. In this case, the coarse powder of the Dioscorea tubers is taken, then it is hydrolyzed with 2.5 normal of the sulfuric acid. It is hydrolyzed by the 2.5 normal of sulfuric acid. It is done by using the reflux or by using the autoclave. The hydrolysis can be done for 1 hour. After this, the hydrolyzed mixture, it is filtered. The mark, it is obtained. The mark is washed with 10% of sodium bicarbonate. The mark is washed with the 10% of sodium bicarbonate to neutralize the acid. The acid which is present in the mark, it can be neutralized by washing with 10% of the sodium bicarbonate. Washed with the water, then wash with the water again and dry the mark at 50 degrees Celsius. So in this way, you have to dry the mark, that is the hydrolyzed mixture, it is filtered, then the mark which is obtained, it is washed with 10% of the sodium bicarbonate so that it can be neutralized, and then again washed with the fresh water and dried. The mark dried at 50 degrees Celsius. Then hydrolyzed tuber powder extracted with benzene for 6 to 8 hours. So the previous tuber powders, the hydrolyzed tuber powder which is obtained, it is extracted with the benzene for 6 to 8 hours. So benzene extract which is obtained, then it is to be filtered. Separate the extract, benzene extract, it is to be filtered. Then the filtrate which is obtained, it is concentrated. You will obtain the residue. This residue again dissolve in chloroform. So the hydrolyzed tubers, you have to extract with the benzene for 6 to 8 hours. Then the benzene extract which is obtained, it is filtered. Filtrate which is obtained, it is concentrated to obtain the residue, and the residue, it is dissolved in chloroform. This chloroform fraction, it is again concentrated. And further purified by recrystallization with acetone. You will obtain the diasgenin. So in this method, first of all, the hydrolysis is done of the tubers. So this is the first method for the extraction of the diasgenin. Next method, the fermentation cum acid hydrolysis. So in this case, first fermentation is done and then subjected for the acid hydrolysis. In this case, the fresh tubers, they are to be used for the extraction purpose. So the fresh tubers are taken, then cut into the pieces. They are cut into the small pieces, and then they are smashed with the help of hammer mill. Then they are reduced in size. They are smashed with the help of the hammer mill. These smashed tubers, they are subjected for the fermentation in fermentation bins for 2 days. That is, it is smashed along with the water. The fresh green tubers, they are taken, cut into the pieces, smashed with the help of the water in the hammer mill. Then the smashed tubers, they are placed aside in the fermentation bin for 2 days. After 2 days, the fermentation material is taken out. Then it is dried under the sun. In this case, the moisture content should be less than 8%. The fermentation material, it is taken out, that is, the filtration is done, the mark is separated, then the mark is dried in the sun, and in this case, the moisture should be less than 8%. Then these fermented tubers, they are subjected for the extraction with 2 to 4 normal of the sulfuric acid. That is, they are hydrolysis is to be carried out of these fermentation tubers by reflexing with 2 to 4 normal of sulfuric acid for 6 to 7 hours to induce the hydrolysis. So these fermented tubers, they are subjected for the hydrolysis with 2 to 4 normal of the sulfuric acid for 6 to 7 hours, so that the separation of the glycon and a glycon moiety will take place. Then after the hydrolysis filter, the mark which is obtained, it is neutralized with suitable alkali, then washed several times with the water. The neutralized mark which is obtained, it is dried and then it is extracted with the solvent, that is the heptane. It is extracted with the heptane, then the extracted solvent, it is filtered. The filtrate which is obtained, this filtrate, it is evaporated, then recrystallization is done to obtain the purified diisocyanine. So in this way, this another method which is the fermentation cum hydrolysis. The another method, it is the fermentation cum hydrolysis. Then the third method, that is the extraction cum hydrolysis. As the name indicate, first of all the extraction is done, the extraction of the glycosides is done and then it is subjected for the hydrolysis. So in this case, the Dioscorea tubers, they are taken, they are reduced to powder, then extracted with ethanol or methanol, extracted with the solvent ethanol or methanol for 6 to 8 hours. The extraction is done, then they are filtered, the alcoholic extract is separated, then concentrated, you will obtain a syrupy liquid. After concentration, you will obtain a syrupy liquid. This syrupy liquid, it is hydrolyzed using a sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid for 6 to 12 hours. So first of all, the separation of the glycoside is done, then it is subjected for the hydrolysis by using either sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid for 6 to 12 hours. The hydrolysis result in conversion of the to diisocyanine. So due to the hydrolysis, the diisocyanine which is present in case of the Dioscorea tubers get converted to diisocyanine and it will precipitate out. Then this precipitate, it is filtered out, it is separated by means of the filtration, washed with the water, purified by using the alcohol, you will obtain the diisocyanine. So in this way you can perform the extraction of the diisocyanine by three methods. First one is the hydrolysis method, next one is the fermentation cum hydrolysis, and third method, that is the extraction cum hydrolysis method, you can use for the extraction of the diisocyanine from Dioscorea. Then estimation, first method, you can estimate it by means of the high performance thin layer chromatography, and there are two methods for the estimation by high performance thin layer chromatography. In this case, the standard is to be prepared. The 6 gradual increasing concentration of the standard diisocyanine were prepared in chloroform. The standard, that is 6 gradual increasing concentration of the standard diisocyanine were prepared in the chloroform. Then the test is prepared, that is the extracted diisocyanine, it is used for the test. The predetermined concentration of isolated diisocyanine solution prepared and used as a test. So at the start you have to prepare the standard solution in the 6 gradual increasing concentration and the test solution of the isolated diisocyanine. Then experimental condition, the mobile phase which is to be used, that is the toluene, ethyl acetate, formic acid in the ratio of 5:4:1. Stationary phase, that is here in case of the high performance thin layer chromatography, you have to use the pre-coated TLC plate silica gel F252, the derivitizing and visualizing agents, the anise aldehyde and sulfuric acid is to be used, and the scaling wavelength, it is 450 nanometer. The series of gradual increasing concentration of the standard diisocyanine applied on the pre-coated silica gel F252 pre-coated HPTLC plate along with the test diisocyanine of known concentration for quantitative estimation. The plate develop in the saturated HPTLC chamber. You have to develop the plate into the, that is allow the solvent to move. Development of the plate, it is done in case of the development chamber of HPTLC. The mobile phase which is to be used, that is the ethyl acetate formic acid, toluene ethyl acetate formic acid in the ratio of 5:4:1. The after development of the plates were dried and deuterized by anis-aldehyde sulfuric acid reagent. So the after ascending development, plates were dried and deuterized by anis-aldehyde sulfuric acid reagent. Diacetyl developed a pinkish blue color spot. The pinkish blue color spot can be seen of the diacetyl. The deuterized place scanning is performed using a tungsten halogen source set at 450 nanometers. Then the calibration curve of the peak of the area under curve versus the concentration of the standard diacetyl used to quantify in the test extract. So after that you have to plot the calibration curve of, so the calibration curve of the peak of the area under curve versus the concentration of the standard diacetyl used to quantify in the test extract, you can determine how much amount of the diacetyl it is present in our extract can be determined by using the calibration curve of the peak area under curve versus concentration. So this is the first method for the estimation. Another method of the estimation by high performance thin layer chromatography. In this case also you have to prepare the standard as well as the test in the same way, that is 6 gradual increasing concentration of the standard diacetyl were prepared in the absolute methanol. In this case you have to use the solvent, that is the absolute methanol. Then the predetermined concentration of the isolated diacetyl solution, again it is prepared in the absolute methanol. Experimental conditions, that is the mobile phase, it is N-hexane ethyl acetate 4:2. Stationary phase, it is silica gel F252 pre-coated HPTLC plates are used. Deuterizing and visualizing, it is done by using 3 gram of antimony trichloride in 100 ml of hydrochloric acid. 3 gram of antimony trichloride in 100 ml of the hydrochloric acid, it is used as an deuterizing and visualizing agent. Again here also the test diacetyl of known concentration applied on a pre-coated silica gel F252 HPTLC plate along with the series of gradual increasing concentration of the standard diacetyl for quantitative estimation. The plates develop in the saturated HPTLC chamber with mobile phase of N-hexane ethyl acetate 4:2 ratio. After ascending development, plates were dried and deuterized by using antimony trichloride in hydrochloric acid. Diacetyl develop a green black color spot. For quantitative estimation, again the deuterized place scan using a densitometric analysis. The calibration curve of a peak of the area under curve versus concentration of the standard diacetyl, it is plotted, and as per as the area under curve of the test diacetyl extrapolate on the calibration curve to quantify the diacetyl. So by again the plotting the peak area under curve versus the concentration of the test diacetyl by means of the extrapolation, you can determine the concentration. So this is the another method by means of the high performance thin layer chromatography for the estimation of the diacetyl. Uses of the diacetyl, it is used as an precursor for the steroidal synthesis. So it is used as an precursor for the steroidal synthesis. It can be used for the synthesis of the steroidal hormones because of its basic steroidal structure. It is first converted to 1,6-dihydropregnanolone acetate, which acts as an precursor for steroidal synthesis like corticosteroids and pregnane. So it is first converted to 1,6-dehydropregnanolone acetate, which acts as an precursor for steroidal synthesis like corticosteroid and pregnane. It is used in the synthesis of sex hormones and in the preparation of oral contraceptives. It is also used for the synthesis of sex hormones and in the preparation of oral contraceptives. It can be used. The unmodified diastenin has a estrogenic activity and can reduce the level of the serum cholesterol. The unmodified diastenin, that is the steroid, has a estrogenic activity and it can use to reduce the serum cholesterol. The diastenin, it also acts as an prodrug for the synthesis of progesterone. It also acts as an prodrug for the synthesis of progesterone. Then the Dioscorea tubers are traditionally used in the treatment of rheumatism. Its synonym, it is the rheumatism root. So the Dioscorea tubers are traditionally used in the treatment of the rheumatism also. So this is all about the diastenin, which is obtained from the Dioscorea. Thank you very much.